Just about a decade ago, as my life was completely falling apart, I started vlogging every day. I ended up doing it for just over 3 years, and I absolutely loved it. As every project that I launched failed, as I moved to a new country with the long-term goal of getting French citizenship, as I went bankrupt, literally started my life over completely from scratch. A lot has changed. I'm actually standing right now in the Quart d'Honneur, right in front of the presidential palace. We've been invited for a little event that's happening here. We'll talk more about that in a second. There's so much happening right now. I'm 40, I'm now a proud French citizen. I'm gonna publish 2 books this year. I'm helping a friend to launch a YouTube channel, maybe. When are you starting your YouTube channel? Yeah. Also, there's a Crisco party tonight.
Yeah.
Thought that I should start this back up and bring you along for the ride. I'm gonna talk more about how, why, and all that, but first, what's all this? So this is the 5th annual Made in France Expo, which I thought was gonna go longer, but I guess it's just for the weekend. So you're missing out. The day this is coming out, it's already over. However, if you're really interested in checking out what they have on offer at the Élysée Museum across the street, the Maison d'Élysée, it's a really, really nice little museum that explains the history of the French presidencies and has the single nicest pétanque set I've ever seen and absolutely want, and probably will get one of these days for the summer's coming. But this expo has been really interesting. It's very diverse, everything from textiles and clothing to 3D printing, candles that are made in France, kombucha, and on the other table, foie gras, which is good that they didn't mix those two together. Very different demographics looking for that. Materials, ecological stuff, like beds that are made in France, and a lot of tech, some drones, some military stuff, a really cool sports wheelchair. Honestly, it's just kind of inspiring to be in here. Already inspired to be in the space, like the presidential palace itself. There's just something very, very cool about this place. It's the 3rd time I've been here, and I'm very grateful every time they invite me. It's very, very nice to come in and check this place out. But it is also really cool just to see what's going on and see some really nice, high-quality products being made here in France. It's 123 different products made by 27 different companies that are listed as official, like, made in France partners, I guess. And it's just interesting. There's also this, like, biological, like, anti-calcaire thing that they have over here, which is great because the water in Paris in particular is extra hard, and I'm wanting to look into that, especially for like the scaling in my kettle. Anyways, for those of you that freaked out when you found, like, you're figuring out that I'm going back to daily vlogging, don't worry, I have a plan. We'll get to that here in a second, but first, there are no snacks here. I was hoping that there would at least be coffee. Your French lesson for today, le mug. So, how was Made in France?
It's really good.
Yeah. I gotta give this back as we go. Elle m'a dit qu'il faut que je redonne ça à vous, je crois. À quelqu'un ici, je sais pas. Bon, merci à vous. Bonne journée. That was really cool. I think the coolest thing we were agreed on was the Olvid app. We met some guys. Oh, there's an eco train over here and a bus. We missed this stuff. These guys that made a messaging app that's like encrypted on a level above like Signal and WhatsApp. Very, very interesting. Really nice guys. Cool to learn a little bit about cryptography. And it was probably the most Made in France thing of the entire thing.
I don't think it was encrypted above. They don't use any of your personal data, which is the big differentiating factor.
Okay, well, don't quote us on any of this, but check out Olvid. It was pretty cool.
You don't need to give any of like your number or email to create an account. So
it's really cool. All right, but what is this all about? What am I doing? The what is pretty straightforward. Going back to making a video about my life every day. Not quite every day. We'll get to that in the how. But I'm back to daily vlog. Merci. But yeah, I'm back to it. The why is a little bit more convoluted and actually has a lot behind it for me. I got a whole list of things. I mean, I really love documenting my life. It's so cool that I can go back to almost any day in the last decade and be like, what was I doing that day? Today's November 16th, 2025. What was I doing on November 16th, 2016 or 2017 or 2018? I can go back and look at that, which is kind of cool. And especially now that there's so much going on in my life, just a lot of really big projects, a lot of fun stuff coming up. And I would really like to be able to share that and capture just the whole experience as I go. I'm also still chasing the dragon of telling like a good story in a day. There's just something really, really challenging and fun and satisfying about trying to get something in 24 hours, conceptualized, filmed, and out. I've never quite caught that. I feel like there's something to it from there. Also, perhaps a little bit ironically, I really want to get offline more. Like, I'm pretty sick of passively consuming content. How do I get back to making stuff? Focusing every day on making something, producing it, sharing it, getting it out in the world, and then Moving on, I picked up some hobbies along the way. I did just finish writing a book. We'll talk more about that in time. But there's a sense of agency that I feel like is lost by endlessly doom scrolling or watching YouTube passively. And I'm just kind of tired of all of it. I want to get back to books, more intentional music consumption, and making stuff, and sharing that journey along the way, of course. Perhaps most importantly, I'm really excited to do it. Like, I've never stopped thinking about getting back to vlogging daily. I did jump into it in 2024, and let's be honest, I'm just like stoked to get started here. So this brings us to the how. How am I doing it? For those of you that were freaking out, maybe you've already left comments below. How am I going to do this sustainably without burning out? And why is it that I think that I'm absolutely going to be able to accomplish that this time? At least I'm gambling on it. I'm gambling something on it. First off, the definition of daily has to change to some degree. In the past, I thought of it as being a consecutive thing every day without missing a beat, and that's what it took to count as a daily vlog. And that is how I ended up making hundreds of them in a row without ever stopping, which I don't really think is going to ultimately be sustainable in the long term. Instead, I'm defining it as a video that it documents a day. It's within a 24-hour period, and it's done, whether or not it comes out immediately after. Because with sponsors in the mix now, there's a chance that there will be occasions where it doesn't immediately come out, and we might see that happening sooner than later. Hello, Dougie. Of course, all of this is made possible by Karla and Laura, my patron producers of the day, and all my patrons who have made this possible full-time since 2018. Thank you guys so much. We have some changes to Patreon coming here soon too, some exciting ones. So we'll get to that later. Okay, where were we? That dog was really cute. Produced within 24 hours, 5 days a week. And if at any point I stop having fun or I feel like I'm forcing it, I'm taking a break. Because that's one of the things that I've never been good at before, is taking breaks when I really need to. I also have a vacation planned in like May, so that's good. Ultimately, my goal here is to get back to the joy of documenting, sharing my life, having fun, making a video every day. Sometimes about certain subjects, sometimes about French culture, sometimes travel, sometimes something mundane that I really love about life, which is coming up in just a couple of days. But ultimately, all the time, hopefully, a good time. And if not, what the hell am I doing? And I'm actually a little nervous, a little bit scared, but mostly really excited, especially as we're getting started. This might sound a little bit intense, but over the last decade of sharing my life, of digging deep, doing the work, really trying to come to understand myself and the world that I live in, I've come to think that the only thing that I really have to give is myself, my experience, the way that I see the world, the way that I understand myself in it. And if I die without having poured myself out completely, ultimately I think I will have failed. That's the really intense part. And while this isn't the medium that I ever intended to get into in the form of vlogging, like I never meant to become a YouTuber, what a cool opportunity and something that I'm genuinely like super excited to get back into. If you couldn't tell, the way I said it to my sister was like, I feel like I'm sprinting straight towards the cliff with every intention of jumping off. No idea what's on the other side or if my parachute will work. It's terrifying, but it's genuinely super exciting. It's pretty crazy to think that in 2015, my life was completely falling apart. And now in 2025, I'm getting invited to the presidential palace more than once. What is the next decade gonna bring? I genuinely don't know. And I'm also genuinely really excited. And I hope that you'll join me. Like, I really hope that I can just share the journey with you as I have for the last decade. Speaking of journeys, I now have to go on a journey to a Crisco party, which sounds potentially filthy. I don't know what that means. I guess we're gonna find out together. I think I might be a little overdressed. Sound like you've got like what is a Crisco party?
So Crisco party is all the food served here is made with Crisco, except for Augustine's cake, which was made with Vaseline because he said
With Vaseline?
Yes.
Is that edible?
Apparently the pharmacist told him yes, but he recommends we don't eat it.
Yeah, I would not want to eat that. Okay, well anyways, the video's over. If you didn't notice, this is shorter.